the people 16 below, the power no as on this this one. This I was too greedy. I really wanted a man. The body money the way Joe we are over power me. But I overhead you. The president taking the money very small. The public say going to cause people. That would have made me scared. You know, going no civil have been able to call a judge or who. But me as Carol, I know what we can do. I want to be able to go quickly to see man Jew. All the people money and I still get money to replace it. The 16 better. The Bob knows this more money. This one. But anyway, I don't know the day I'm going to steal it. Or who steal the money, but we will dance as who will kill.
Eu fui muito. Até a quando é mais, eu continuo lá. Bring it, yeah, bring it, bring it, bring it, yeah, bring it back, bring it, 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 yeah, bring it back, bring it, bring it, bring it, yeah, bring it, bring our continent back, bring our continent back, yeah, bring our continent back, yeah, bring our fantasy continent back, bring our continent back, yeah, bring our continent back, bring our continent back, yeah, bring our fantasy continent back, bring our continent back, bring our continent back. Continue back, yeah, bring our fantasy continue back. Yeah, bring our continue back. We are rappers, bring our continue back. Yeah, bring our continue back. Fantasy continue back. So come on, feet and stealing the country money, reaching themselves. The other day I saw a minister giving one all I got money for sex. Mama la pure crying again. I want to go and do it again. Few people not finna costing the job while the masters coming start again. Last city competition, you know, open your forget who first ever change. No care for the home and the papa, the children and the selling all in the street. What play the money in the street? So you go ask them the time you go PP and sleep. No too much crap to eat, but I hope 16 million Jeffrey group of people nasty. The money lost over there. The national money I said. Oh, control that they all free for now. Having no security camera there. Check. We need fast and prayer. Yeah. The minister and the rabbi senator, everybody got the way you expect. When they finish smoking that opinion, they cause each other mad, then they fight. Your smoke, you are up here. Your smoke, you are up here. I am my boy. You guys saw somebody mother, yeah? You see our money, I bring it back. All pay our table, I tear it back. If my grandfather sit on our money, they playing your father, I pray him a job and die. Roll. We pro. You're stealing the money, I forgot you don't know we ain't got good car roll. Score go. Then I score new go. Les passes continuent les filles, on a dansé les poils bien close. Les passes continuent les filles, on a dansé les poils bien close. Bring our continue back. Yeah, bring our continue back. Yeah, bring our fantasy continue back. Bring our continue back. Yeah, bring our continue back. Bring our continue back. Yeah, bring our fantasy continue back. Bring our continue back. Bring our continue back. Yeah, bring our continue back. Yeah, bring our fantasy continue back. Yeah, bring our 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 fantasy continue back.
Me, I know the money better. We talking about when I get nothing for it. Sumo koje la day, y'all want tell me say the money the lost when I find it. Follow our opinion, none of that continue. So you go down with KE, that scorpion. All of them know the person that take the money. They just with it for the toy and die. The whole country maka, all of Osaka. Hey, I've been city with be on the daughter. Say they thought they be smoking the weed. Rabbi said that they said in the tea. Minister in the house of coffee, all the ninja be banning. I don't wait, bring the ball that pray. All of them about the matches of the day. You know everybody who have had their own that continue. After you say what you go. I know the pop in the fair, but I'll put it there. Still put it in the chat. Nigga, you get alright. But if it passes your car, what's you want they didn't say they come on feature, so we thought they get okay. I sleep. When they got the hour get, we gonna get mad. When they call you be high, then I get up for after the 6, yeah. They didn't say my fault, but we'll tell them no. Because all of that, if you want to know the people that stole the money for the continue, they ask they come official, you know that smoking opium. One let to go to jail first on it just to equal me up.
Bring our continue back. Yeah, bring our continue back. Yeah, bring our fantasy continue back. Bring our continue back. Yeah, bring our continue back. Bring our continue back. Yeah, bring our fantasy continue back. Bring our continue back. Bring our continue back. Yeah, bring our continue back. Yeah, bring our fantasy continue back. Yeah, bring our 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 fantasy continue back.
On the records. Follow the crazy beat, follow you crazy.
Hello?
you mean? What you mean like wrong continue count? The man finish stealing the money share that table continue? Yeah.
What you mean like wrong continue count now?
That table continue.
Oh, I made the government crooked at dinner.
That fucking yeah.
All the suffering was suffering at the wrong continue.
How we get up for yourself? How we get up?
Continue back, yeah, continue back. Yeah, continue back. Yeah, fantastic continue back. Yeah, continue back. Yeah, continue back. Yeah, continue back. Yeah, fantastic continue back. All the records.
Follow the crazy beat, follow you crazy.
Hello? Wait. What you mean? What you mean like wrong continue count? The man finish stealing the money share that table continue? Yeah.
What you mean like wrong continue count now?
That table continue.
Oh, I made the government crooked at dinner.
That fucking yeah.
All the suffering was suffering at the wrong continue.
And I, as Minister of Finance, sitting and when we're sitting, no $16 billion is ever missing in the Republic of Liberia. The money that the Minister of Information went to a radio station to talk about a $9 billion that somebody said was missing, and he said the total money printed is $15 billion. Now it is now interpreted as $16 billion. I got a call from an international friend saying you people have to be stupid in Liberia. What is happening? How can a misinterpretation of a minister's statement now be the basis for an investigation? You got to clarify that, because the minister said $15 billion is what was printed.
15 billion, that's 16, right?
Not 16. 15 billion is what was printed in the last 2 years. You journalists are on the radio putting $1 more billion there and saying that all of the money in the country that was printed is what is missing.
Mr. Minister, the information minister told the VOA about 16 million. That's what he said. 15 to 16 million.
I'm telling you, I'm the total amount of money printed in Liberia in the last 2 years, in the last since 2016, 2018, is 16 billion and 15 billion. Get me right. 15 billion.
Mr. Minister, we'll take that as a face value. But the interview conducted by Minister Eugene Nangwa on the VOA was 15 to 16 billion, and every candidate is 15. We can compromise that in 16. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Number fact, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. The total number of money printed in Liberia in the last 2 years is 15 billion. Okay. Forget about what Minister Nangwa said. Okay. Forget about it. Okay. Minister Nangwa also said that 1.5 billion is what printed. So the fake story that came out about 9 billion is saying that of that 1.5 of that 15 billion, 9 of it is missing. Now think about that. The entire money supply in the country, half of it missing. You don't have any economy. You don't have any country. And people are talking about this. Who's supposed to go to school and sitting down and playing politics with the people out of this country? The investigation we call is not about any missing billion. It is to establish credibility, because we're bringing the FBI, the Army was here. They are laughing at us, and to show that no billion missing have been account for all money trails and see all the launch of the central bank to establish a credible basis for this new government to then launch a monetary policy. We're not chasing any missing computer 9 billion or 60 billion, because it's not possible to print 15 billion, 1.5, and 1/6 of that, 1 more billion that you printed is missing. And everybody laughing at us in the country. I can't stand that as Minister of Finance. So listen to the ridiculing of my country for political purposes. This is unacceptable.
Yes, Mr. Minister, but we have the release issued by the Justice Ministry earlier, talked about the disappearance of millions of dollars. So it actually, the issue of disappearance of money actually came from the government itself.
Okay, hold on. That's why Minister of Finance is stepping in. Forget about all that was said. Report from now on that absolutely the government is not chasing any billions, because the money in supply in the country, the total currency in circulation, it's around 17.9 billion Liberian dollars. If half of that, I mean, if 9 billion even left the economy, for example, Jala, if you just kept 9 billion in your container, there will be no money in the supply. Let me tell you right now, as because of the president's instruction, the economic management team has been sterilizing $2 billion, keeping it at the central bank to control the exchange rate. Okay, this is why you see some stability in the exchange rate, and we brought it down from 163 who have no basis of fact. I went on the radio and said I'm making. Hold on. I went on the radio and said I'm making more than $100 United States with the African Development Bank. They seem to 100. I said that in front of the whole world. All of you were there. I said 100,000 United States was my salary. More than. I'm not calling my salary. I'm just telling you more than that. The people went and said I said $500 per annum. And none of you. I mean, 500,000. None of you didn't say
500,000, Mr. Minister?
I said 100. The tip is available. Ask Mr. Eugene Mamo for the tip. You will hear me saying 100.
Okay.
So what kind of society are we going into that the fact does not matter and journalists and politicians disregard the fact and mislead our people? This is what happened in 2014 with Ebola. Some of our people said Ebola was never real, which was factual, and people died because of that. I cannot state as a patriotic idea to watch misinformation parading in the guise of fact and people politicizing and trying because they hate this president and they hate their country. This is unacceptable, John. Stop that.
You have a press conference today to clear all of this.
We are calling. I just called the Minister of State. We're convening a press conference. I will be there. The Central Bank government will be there. There is legitimate investigation going because of the new government we inherited. Now, people say you audit the past government. This president has been hesitant to audit the past government in my oration. That's why I said because you will soon be seeing that witch hunting. Okay? There's no car. There's all these people to go after. You saw the former president come on front page the other day, and what did she say? All the people come to witch hunting. So if you open, so what we are basically doing is almost like a forensic audit. We came in the country, monies were coming in the country, the president was there, and we get the account because we're in transition. Money came in November, and some of the money that came in November were not released according to the LRA until March. So somebody trying to say now that a government that came, that the one that printed money, or know about messy, what is that?
Simply, what is the government investigating?
The government is investigating the account of all money printed since the $5 billion printed in 2016 that landed in 2016, and the $10 billion that came in the country as per the records in the government possession that should be in the central bank vault. We want to trace dollar for dollar each one of those $15 billion, how it came into the country, how it was entered in an accounting entry in the central bank reserve vault. That's why we're bringing the GAC forensic auditors, we're bringing the certified public accountants, we're calling the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Treasury, Federal Reserve, IMF, all of them are going to look at some container from the port of Monrovia, follow where it landed, the money entered in the vault, look at the accounting entry for the last 2 years, and make a determination. That will establish the president credible basis for launching monetary policy on which we can decide. If you decide you want to change the currency, you have a stronger basis. If there's confusion, we could change. So that's the determination. It is not because we are changing any $9 billion. Let me say another point here. The $9 billion story came out of the president's investigation of all these things about money flow. Because the president has always been uncertain about the flow of money, and he wanted a proper account. So the investigators came to the Minister of Finance and said, Minister, we need some documents about the printing of money. They went to the central bank, Patrick Sudu and NSC people came there at the Minister of Finance. They went to the central bank, they asked central bank, they went to LRA for documents. Because of these documents, somebody leaked to a newspaper, and a newspaper journalist, as unpatriotic as they are, and as ignorant as they are, they just put $9 billion.
So, Mr. Minister, is the government why is the government taking all this reporting from the international media?
Because the $9 billion number was not rational. So if they were rational, they were going to say 500 million like missing. They said the whole country's supply of money is missing. So I know that the journalists who write the story is not informed economically. So if you wanted to be rational, you say, you know what? So because of that leaked information to run a story headline, and then the whole country is above.
Mr. Minister, we want to get all the facts today at the press conference where it's a venue.
Right now, yeah. I just called the minister information will be there. I can no longer stand this show.
Do we know the venue? Do we know the venue, sir?
We'll get administrative information. The Minister of Central Bank Governor myself will be there, and along with Minister of Justice, and we're going to put all this, because the country is being held hostage because of this fake news on social media that $16 billion is missing somewhere, and we're all sitting down looking. We're calling the FBI here to establish credibility, because when the government comes out and say $16 billion,
thanks for taking your time to phone in.
Gentlemen, you ready?
Provided some fights for
Let's
us.
get to business.
Okay.
Sir, what does that have to do with this investigation? This is your final warning. Stay on the subject.
Come
on, stop singing. Why are you singing? Get to the business. Who are the people am I investigating first?
Compiers and combados, and the cornucopia of intellectualism. And on this is through intellectual political psychometry to discuss issues of pertinence and relevance. Chairman of the tripartite session, concomitant of the Liberal People's Democratic Party, Sifario intellectual, perspicacious girl.
So what is the grammatical implication of this politically?
Political Maradona.
Maradona? You mean Maradona stole the people money? The soccer player Maradona?
So at this time, comrades and friends, they will be responding and be discussing plethora of political national issues.
If you are the gorilla, please go ahead, sir.
Great. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome. So where do you stand on this missing money issue?
I stand on this terra firma that have magnetized revolutionary gladiators of revolutionary didactics.
Warriors, we are just investigating the money. Can we stick to the subject? God.
And let me begin by saying that it is written in Matthew chapter 9.
Oh, I love the Bible. That's a great place to start. Yeah, let's go to the Bible.
What? Beginning from verse 34 up to
34.
40.
To 40? There is no 40, sir. If there's one thing I don't appreciate, I don't appreciate being lied to. Matthew chapter 9, verses 34 does not have a 40 verse. So stop lying and stay true with me. I'm not here to play with you people. Continue.
Jesus said.
Jesus said? No, Jesus did not say.
And seeing the multitude, he was moved with compassion.
Jesus did it. Don't lie on Jesus. According to the scripture, verse 36, it said, but when Jesus saw the multitude, he did not say it. The places in the Bible when Jesus is actually speaking or when God is speaking is in red. Again, stop lying to me and talk to me about this money because you don't know anything about this Bible you're talking about. Let's keep going.
Because there was a shepherd.
There was a shepherd.
There was a sheep with all the shepherd.
There was a sheep with
if I do a structural positional analysis.
What analysis?
See the plight of the Liberian people. His Excellency George Madam-Weah was moved with compassion. We have come with credibility. We have come as a nationalist and a patriot in defense of His Excellency George Madam-Weah.
Sir, again, this is an investigation. We are not defending His Excellency. I am investigating right now. Why is that guy yelling? Dog? Is that a dog crying? I heard a dog
gave him the opportunity and the flow.
Oh yeah, no distraction.
No, don't tell me to continue. Don't tell me to continue.
There's
a dog crying. Are you guys cooking dog? You're cooking the dog back there? Because I know you people, you can cook dog. Why you okay? Wait.
How can those whose political gangsters and gang lords stole money be the ones on Facebook and pointing accusing fingers of those who are bringing change? It's a contradiction. Don't be misled. Those, in my view, that are the biggest suspects in the missing money saga are governors and leaders in the former Unity Party-led government. They're not just real government. We got nothing absolutely to do with it. Because the Central Bank of Liberia is responsible to authorize, to print, to import, and to preserve currency. So if anything went wrong with that money, the Central Bank of Liberia must be the one to be investigated fully. And all those are associated with that process to be investigated. And we also believe that since Madam Salib has already invited ourselves into the debate, and she's not making statements, she needs to be invited by the police
to give statement. Are you following? She needs to give statement because maybe she knows something that we don't know. Why is she rushing to the defense of Charles Salif? Talking about, I will tell you, he passed, he will resign. No, he's not resigning like that. You can steal from your mind and go on your farm. But when you steal from the public, you can't go on farm like that. Once I can. Are these stolen? I do not know yet. There is an ongoing investigation. But that process must be concluded. And for Madam Salif to now try to jumpstart that process by infringing on the integrity of the investigation, she invites herself to a debate. And we will not sit down and allow her to lie.
They release the report of the investigation. Why are they sitting on it? Does the president realize what he has done to the country? The reputation of the country is also at stake. Talking about 16 billion, do they know what the GDP of this country is?
Oh, Madam Salif is cunning and can be mischievous. But she means so much. Because under this government, corruption will be brought to a halt.
We are cutting up back. We are cutting up back. We are cutting up back. We are fantastic cutting up back. We are 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 fantastic cutting up back. We are cutting up back. We are cutting up back.
So what sort of sport were you being on? I play basketball. I'm the president of the Olympic Committee. Yeah. So, I mean, that's it.
You're carrying people for athletics and
athletics, boxing, football, basketall, all.
Don't carry that guy away, carry it all the time.
Which one?
The one you say, I know what kind of 4 things.
The guy from judo?
From judo, right? Yeah, I beg you. Next time you want to recruit people, make way far from that. But let's get on to the issue here. There's been some news in town. I've personally tried to check that information.
Okay.
A few weeks back, we were hearing about some money coming to the country. I want to start from that note.
Okay.
Relating to, first it was said it was counterfeit, been printed, it's coming to the country, it was coming on the 40 feet to continue, and then I'm told that money arrived in the country, it's now vanished in thin air, and you also been reading and walking and seeing between the corridor. Did you hear a similar thing?
Well, Smith, what I do know, okay, and I like speaking from facts, okay, and I like doing a lot of inquiry when I hear things. I like to speak to the who's who, especially those are connected with whatsoever allegation. There was a 40-foot container of Liberian dollars, big notes, big bills. Okay, so we're talking about billions of Liberian dollars. Now, 40-foot container, you know, is nothing small. Okay, it was taken from the free port of Monrovia.
Taken from the
taken from the free port. It came from the free port. No, not counterfeit. It came from the printer.
Counterfeit.
No, not counterfeit. It came from the printer in Lebanon.
But let me ask you.
It was meant for the Liberian government.
The money was meant for the Liberian government?
It was meant for the Liberian government because only the government has the right to print money. So the 40-foot container of money that came into this country was meant for the Liberian government. And that 40-foot...
Is that the normal procedure of bringing money to the country?
Well, the only person that has that right...
How did it come by way of the port, by the way?
Oh, you can bring money by the port. You can bring money by container. You can bring money by air.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, and the only authority that can bring money into the country is central bank. Because it's the central bank that gave the contract to the printers in Lebanon. Okay, so I may surmise that it was with the acquiescence of the central bank that the money came into the country. Because the printer will not send money into the country without it being ordered by the central bank. And the money came to the free port. It was taken away from the free port.
By whom?
That's the mystery.
The money left the port?
It left the port. The 40-foot container of money left the free port.
Oh.
It was taken away It vanished in thin air, and up to today, there's no one knows exactly what happened to the money.
This is a very serious revelation.
No, it's a very serious thing.
When did that happen?
Okay, I got to know 3 months ago.
3 months ago?
Yes,
okay.
I got to know.
Okay.
All right? And like I'll say to you, I spoke to all the relevant agencies. Okay, because I learned that President We have instituted a probe into the vanishing of this money. And the chairmanship is with the Liberia National Police and is co-chaired by the NSA.
And let me tell you this, because I've also been hearing and following that, so we're holding a conversation on this one. I've also attempted asking the Liberia National Police. My last check with Police Chief Patrick Sudu, the first thing, he was very surprised to know how I got the information.
Okay.
And he said to me, let's talk about this, but not on the phone. As of that date to today, the police chief have never returned. He's never answered my telephone. Well, so what is your information? Because I'll call him and said, I'm hearing some information about this money into the port, and you are heading the investigation. Are you aware of the money? And how far are you with the investigation? The police chief said to me, it is not for us to discuss on the phone, but I will call you and you come to my office. From that day to today's date, that policeman never answered. The chief, the RG, never answered my telephone.
Well, the story is 100% true.
100% true.
110% true. Okay, like I say, okay, I'm the kind of person that I don't say anything that isn't true.
But where is that money then?
Okay, the money vanishing in air, and we're talking about billions of Liberian dollars. But interestingly,
isn't that for the central bank? I also call the central bank.
It's not at the central bank. There's no record of that money being at the central bank. And this is serious. And the reason why I have not even discussed this issue, okay, even if you had told me that there was an issue that we're going to be discussing, because you invited me again, you didn't give me issues, you said we're just going to talk.
On general issues.
Yeah, on general issues. If I knew that was this issue, we wouldn't even be discussing it. Because my thing is that it's not everything that is meant for the press. It's not everything that is meant for the public domain. And looking at my privileged position, okay, and maybe you wouldn't understand when I say my privileged position, but looking at my privileged position, which I can explain to you, okay, I left the newspaper writing business because it's not 10% of what I know that we put into the newspaper. All right? So this is an issue. And this is why the Liberian dollars have swelled from 40-something to 100 and 160.
That's the reason why we're having...
That's the reason why we have all this inflation. That is the reason. Because let me tell you what's going on.
But then where's the money sitting there?
These guys are taking the money and floating it to $1. They can't keep the Liberian dollars. So they are trying to buy... They didn't work for the money. It's not the money. That's the government of Liberian money. Whosoever they are, they have put this money on the market at any cost. They must get. And we're talking about millions of millions of millions of millions of millions of US dollars worth in Liberian dollars.
For continuance to leave the free port of Monrovia.
Yeah, they're paper trades. I think the police, my problem with the police right now, and I told you more than 3 months, right?
3 months.
Yeah, they're a bit more than 3 months. Okay, because in June, I took the team to Algeria, so that June, July, August, we're in September, right? It's a bit more than 3 months. And the police have had ample time
to go through the
to have launched this investigation. But you see, that's not just all. You see, President We sits in the mansion, and these guys are running a big sending kits or mafia ring around the president.
So are you saying that the president is not in the know? Is that why he commissioned the investigation?
I'm not just telling you that he is not in the know. I know that he is not in the know. So if I tell you something, right, is one thing. If I tell you that I know that he doesn't know what's going on, it's completely. It's just not the only money that came. There were 2 extra plane loads. And to be very clear.
That's scary here.
Okay? Plain loads. To be very clear
very
with you.
serious allegation, you're plain load.
I will tell you the plain name. Air Morocco.
When did they come?
Okay? They brought 2 loads of money while President We was president. The president knew nothing about it.
They brought money. Royal Emirates brought money to this country.
In this country.
Under this administration.
Under this administration. All right? I don't gossip. I don't lie. So when you saying it, don't say I heard it or did say. Say Philip Red Brown said it. Okay? 2 plain loads. And that's not all.
They brought the money for the government? They brought it for the central bank?
The money should be for the central bank.
But where is it?
Where is the money going?
But have you asked the central bank?
My friend, when I tell you, I have spoken to everybody. All right? So it tells you that I have spoken to the central bank. I have spoken to the police. I have spoken to everybody, every other person that's involved within this investigation. Okay? And this is a very big and serious investigation. Big names will come up, big hairs will roll, and I'm challenging President We to see how serious he is. Okay, and this is my reason of just talking about it. All right, so Liberian people get to know and start putting pressure on the police and putting pressure on the president to say, look, this thing we heard it from Philip Red Brown. Okay, how true it is? Nobody can lie about it. Let me tell you the first thing.
Nobody can lie about it.
Nobody will lie about it, and nobody will tell you say. It's not true.
But Mr. Brown, since in fact you are in the field of information, will it also be prudent to help the government say this is the link?
Let me tell you something.
Because
let me tell you something. In every society, in every society, you should know the worth of your members. All right? I can go to the government and say, oh, I won't help you people. No. If the government know my worth and they think I can help them, okay, it's a completely different ballgame. I'm not looking for a job. I'm not looking for anything for anybody. All right? Like I say, I sit, I travel, I do my work, I come home, I sit in my office quietly. I got no social life. I don't go anywhere. Okay, I try to mind my own business. But how many times have you invited me here? More than 20 times. You have made announcements and I refuse to come on air. Okay? But this is something. And besides that,
but can we also take the sensitive nature of this? Maybe that's the reason why it is going the way it is. Because if the police is investigating and there are suspects that the police have invited or are talking to, could we take it as a serious security issue that is being properly handled by the authorities?
Well, I think it's taking just too long.
Too long?
Too long.
It's something the FBI investigated for years.
This is not FBI. When you're talking about the FBI, you're talking about the United States. You're talking about 52 states that all of them are bigger than Liberia, more sophisticated than Liberia, more populated than Liberia. You're talking about we got one free port of Monrovia. You got one entry point that the money came through. All right? The money came through the free port of Monrovia.
All in big bills.
All in big bills. A 40-foot container. There should be paperwork, paper trade. Which ship brought in that container? The ship name will be there. Which shipping line clear it? Or which shipping agency came through? The paperwork trade will be there. Who signed for it? Which truck it went on? How it left the port? Who are the security on duty? All right. So those are the things that the trades that they should be following. And I show the police director. Okay, is very knowledgeable. Okay, he's smart. He knows his job. So I show banana on top of it. All right, but that's not all. That's just the tip of the iceberg.
What next is there?
The 44 container. Then we're talking about the 2 Royal Air Morocco that came in this administration that brought money. The next thing is that people now, those are genuine money. What we're talking about.
Not counterfeit.
Not counterfeit. Let me make it very clear.
Genuine money.
Not counterfeit.
All in the 500 and 100
yes,
bills.
Yeah. Big bills.
Yeah.
All right. Now, counterfeit too have started to come into the country.
And we're not talking campaign money here.
No, we're not talking campaign money.
We're talking legitimate money.
We're talking about legitimate money.
Yeah.
Okay? Then there's counterfeit coming into the country out of China. There's a whole racket that people are printing counterfeit money in China, and they are bringing that money as Dr. Flair Bay, DKB into the country. All right, that's another racket. And
are you sure that our security apparatus or our monitoring people, our banking sectors are informed about all of this?
And there is a commercial bank that has been linked
to this.
All right, and that is very interesting.
Is the police also informed of this?
Of course,
the police on top of this
one. Of course, yes.
Are they investigating?
Of course, yes. I'm sure they have been keeping surveillance on their particular bank. It's been about 2 months. They have been keeping surveillance on it. I'm sure by now they will have concluded, because you can't be keeping surveillance indefinitely.
Yeah.
All right, but there is serious, very serious. All right, and I'm still waiting to get the police report on this issue. Okay.
When last you spoke to the police RG?
I'll speak to everybody. I can tell you when last, but I speak to everybody. I share intelligence with everybody. Okay, I talk to everybody. I talk about the situation in the country. Okay, the security situation in the country. When I say with everybody, I say with everybody. So I don't have to name this person or this other person or this person. So we sit down and we compare things, we change notes, and we talk about it. We talk about the situation in our country. Okay, and the situation is not as good as it's supposed to be. But let's leave security matter for a while. Let's talk other things.
Yeah, very, very, very serious one. But thanks for your insight. I'm also following that development with the Liberian National Police, even though the RG has refused to answer and live up to his commitment in giving me further information on that case as well. But when you as a citizen hear that your Minister of Minister of Finance and Development Planning is traveling, and there's a trip by the president, and one day you hear that the contract is broken, next day you hear that one minister is upgrading his ticket and flying abroad and flying to a conference in the first class that seems to be very expensive, and there's this news of $16,000 going towards upgrading of ticket. What's the reading? Come close to the microphone.
If I tell you that before that story came up, 1 week before that story came up, 1 week before it came up, I had a whole issue.
You had information?
Yes.
1 week before the story.
1 week. Okay, and how I got to know this disgusting Lebanese national called me to the Abidjali supermarket in Sinker. And he said, Philibert, look, can you imagine they gave your Minister of Finance business class ticket and he refused and he took first class. And he paid $16,000.
A Lebanese man was the first to tell you that.
A Lebanese man.
He was the first to confirm.
Yes, long before he came up in the front page Africa.
Oh, so that means you already had the information before front page came up the story.
Of course. And like I said to you, 10% of what I know I don't write. That's why I left newspaper business. Because, come on, if I write 10% of what I know, the next day we'll start rioting in the street. Okay, this country is a complete mess. You know, for the Minister of Finance and anybody who will come out in his defense and say that the Minister of Finance is his personal money. When did the Minister of Finance have his personal money? When?
He come to the government with money.
Broke. Churchill Rat said got money. You know, Churchill Rat, they live on eating Bibles and the hymn books. So no food in the church, nobody care food there. So the only source of subsistence that to eat the Bible and the hymn book came to this government broke. Right now, overnight, they all buying properties all over the place. You know, if you see Embraer, Embraer is the most luxurious plane in the sky.
Is that really realistic that you upgrade for that amount of money?
I'm coming. Okay, the most luxurious and plane in the sky. In Emirates, you have economy. If you ride Emirates economy, is better than most of the planes business class. No, not first class, business class. Then you have, after economy, you got what we call economy flex. It's a bit higher. The seats are a bit bigger than economy, and you got a bit more leg room, okay, and it slants back a little bit to give you more relaxation. They call it economy flex. After economy flex, then you have business class. Most of the plane go with business class, economy flex, then economy. All right. When you are riding first class, you have your own cabin. Okay, first class you will have maybe 6, 7, 8, at most 8 passengers in first class. All right, you have your own door. You go in your own little small cabin. Your bed can slant all the way like in your room. Yeah. They turn into a bed. You got your own drinks, everything there because that's first class. Now, how much drink you will drink? How much sleep you will sleep? You're talking about 16,000 Emirates or business class will cost you some anywhere between 4,000 to 5,000 for Emirates business class. And my brother, you have never seen pleasure like riding Emirates business class before you see riding first class. You don't need to ride first class. Okay.
But the fact about it is the upgrade price, and that's the reality check. I mean,
the upgrade price you're talking about anywhere $11,000.
So how come we're hearing 16,000?
Because you have business class. You bought a business class ticket. Yeah. And they handed him a business class ticket. Don't forget, Emirates doesn't fly to Liberia. Yeah. So you got to fly to Ghana to take Emirates. Okay? And Emirates not going straight to China. All right? So he could not have ridden business and first class from Accra to the UAE. Yeah. All right? Because from Accra to the UAE, Emirates plane, they don't carry first class. They carry business class. And don't ask me how I know, because every time I fly business class. So they carry business class. And that is the most luxurious thing you can ever see on this sun. So
are you saying that between Accra and I don't know where the next stop?
I'm saying from UAE to Beijing.
To Beijing.
All right, that's where he rode this first class. I have flown so many times with President Salif. All right, so now we'll be on the air on the plane. You will never ever want to see President Salif in first class. You will never ever see President Salif and a whole group of people. You will see President Salif, if she flies with her private secretary. Okay, that time her name was Everett Richardson. She will fly with her private secretary sitting by her, holding her bag. If she will fly with her sister, you see President Salif, her sister, and her private secretary sitting behind her. All the security, all the ministers, everybody sit in economy. You have never seen this kind of waste in this republic before.
But this one,
that the Minister of Finance will be riding first class to prove what? A very, very, very poor country like Liberia, you Minister of Finance, that not your money, that the people money.
No, he said
the Liberian should be calling for a resignation. He's not even fit to be Minister of Finance.
The justification we are hearing is that the government pay some amount for the ticket, and the rest of the money came from the Minister of Finance.
And president. You believe it?
But that's what they said.
You believe it?
That's what the government have said.
Okay,
that's why
that means the Minister of Finance must be exceptionally rich to pay $11,000 to upgrade just to fly to what they call the place name? Beijing. To Beijing. You know how many civil servants who have gotten paid from that money? The country is broke. Between 9 December, civil servants will not even be able to get paid. And you taking that kind of money. So what do you explain? How do you explain it to the Liberian people? Let's assume for argument's sake that it was the Minister of Finance money. Okay? You must lead
by example.
By example. You must lead by example. You say your country broke. You going to Beijing. You going back. You going back. Then you showing first class ticket. Oh man, come on, man.
Do people really take you serious?
Who will take you serious? You can't be a beggar riding first class because the ministers in China, when they come into Liberia to ride business class, will not ride first class. They wouldn't ride first class. So how in the world anyone will even, you should be ashamed to even stand up, okay, and justify it. I can show you, Smith, the public relation officer. I can show you the text messages between way before the story even came up. Now, the thing in finance, one of my colleagues called me and said, oh, the people at finance say they're setting for Ronde CA, Philip Brown, and Team Gigante. And I just smile. Well, you got to be setting for long. And he was setting for 12 years. She didn't catch me. You can start setting for another 6 years. That's your business. Okay? I'm not reading newspaper, so I know what you're setting for.
But Mr. Brown, so what sort of message you think this action, if it is a confirmed action,
is one of being irresponsible. Irresponsible. You see, let me tell you about the problem with jumping into a broad wealth. During Tottenham time, you had the merit system where you see this guy go to a ministry from Kide, and he walks his way through while going to school until he becomes assistant director, then deputy director, then director, before assistant minister, then deputy minister, before you become minister. You can't take a man that having gone through the rank and file, having even gone to sit down to be director or assistant director overnight, you make him minister. All right? Look at all the countries that went to China. Look at what they left China with.
But we also left with something.
What did we come with?
The envelope will be open tomorrow. That's what they said.
Okay.
Oh, why are you laughing?
No.
That's what they said. They'll give us details. They'll give us details.
We're giving for the envelope.
They're giving us details.
Let me tell you something. If we have come from China with anything substantive,
we'll be boasting about
it. It will have been on the news before they have even left China. And let me tell you something.
Tell me.
Smith. We left from here. We went to Paris. What did we get from Paris? $10 million. Right? Have we received the $10 million yet? No.
Why no?
Because there's so much bottleneck. It's not automatic. All right? Right after we left China, Kenya, president, okay, Kenyatta, went to Paris. What did he get? $50 billion with 50,000 jobs. $50 billion with 50,000 jobs. You can't go to the people country with your hands swinging. Okay? If you want help, you must go there with a genuine proposal.
Is that what we lacking? Have we gone ill-prepared?
Of course. No, even if we going ill-prepared or people are not taking us seriously.
Mr. Brown, see the team. So we left from here with the Minister of Public Works.
Yeah.
The Minister of Defense, the Minister of Commerce, the Minister of Transport, the Minister of Health.
We carry 50%.
The Minister of Agriculture. I know the other attachment.
Yes.
But those technicians in very vibrant ministry accompanied the president, and they were holding discussions not just with the Chinese delegation but with others. So how come you think they will come here?
The president went there. We were 15 persons.
15?
15.
Liberia,
we're over 50.
That is not.
Liberia were over 50 persons. Check it out for yourself. You say the country poor. You say we're catching hard time. Okay? You carry over 50 persons to do what? We need the money at home. Our biggest challenge in this country right now, Toby, so get the kids off the street. That is the biggest challenge, to get the kids off the street. We've been in power for 9 months.
Yeah, pretty close 9 months.
All right. This is the only country where, if right now, to be came, you credit me $5 because I don't have money. If you credit me $5, I can walk right down the street, right across from your place, go right behind the Ministry of Defense. You want cocaine, or you want marijuana, or you want Doogie, or what you want. I can go buy it right there on the table.
Is that how loose we are?
This is how dangerous it is in this country. Right there, black bag. You go there right now, everybody smoking, everybody taking something. That's why the crime rate is so high. And nobody seems to be doing anything about it. What is happening to this country? Okay, what is happening? Okay, there's the most loose country I have ever seen anywhere in the world.
Are you seeing this only under this administration, Mr. Philip Brown? You've been here. You've had.
I'm not saying this under this administration. I said it under President Salif's administration. I said it under her administration.
Was it as loose as it is now?
It's worse now. It's worse now because the kids, okay, have the notion that this is the time they are in power, okay, and nobody can do anything to look. What puzzled me and the guys when they put it on Facebook, because apparently everything you do in this government goes on Facebook. The CDC chairman, Moba Molu, went to visit the case right here in Babla. And you know what they call Babla?
I don't know.
You read on the street, you don't know Babla? Babla is a ghetto right behind the Ministry of Defense.
Old defense building.
Right, old defense, right here on Benson Street. Right in the back, that's the biggest ghetto. And you wouldn't believe it. Everybody go there to smoke. When I say everybody, I'm talking about everybody. So who's going to arrest who? When the people who's supposed to be arresting, okay, all of them there are knocking everything you can think about. What kind of country is this?
You've seen them there?
I've been there.
You see them there?
I've been there.
Are you seen the arresting officers in?
I've been there. And let me tell you the funny part of it. When the chairman, the CDC chairman went there, he went with state security. He went with state security and watched the video when he was speaking to them. Everybody molding something. Some people got the fraud paper with the light under it and sniffing. Other people sniffing this. Some people molding the marijuana. And nobody even care about what you were talking to them. That's how dangerous the situation is.
But Mr. Brown, those are just victims. We should be looking for the individuals who are rather bringing in the drugs.
They should be looking for the individuals, but how would they do it?
And they are here.
Yeah, of course, yes.
Yeah, so why are they not being arrested?
Because majority of them, okay, that are involved in bringing in these drugs, okay, they pay a commission. They pay a commission, okay?
They're paying the taxes to the government?
No, they're paying commission to be protected. So it's an organized crime gang. And everybody know if the police and the DEA wants to stop this thing, they can stop it.
By doing what?
By arresting people and by persecuting people.
We see people being arrested.
These guys
we see people being arrested almost every day.
Oh man, come on, that the kids to go arrest from the street and carry them, so now they round them up.
Who should they be arresting?
Those are bringing them in, and they know the dealers.
What is the best way that we can all help this president to succeed, if at all he's listening?
The president first must want help. The president first must unentangle himself.
Is he been entangled?
Of course, yes. He has a group of guys around him, all right, and that seem to be pushing everyone else away. Okay, so they keep control of his movement. They keep control of his visitors and everything. All right. So he has to unentangle himself first.
What's the danger in doing that? What is the danger in doing that?
The danger in doing that, he was not elected. He was elected for this country, not for a few persons that have entangled him and are on the property buying spree. Okay, to get rich spree soon. Okay, everybody acting like. I mean, there's so much uncertainties. So we got to do it now. We got to get rich. Think about it. All the ministers, the new ministers, are purchasing homes. They buy. I know minister that have an account in Nigeria.
In Nigeria,
in Ghana, one minister that was $600,000 in his account in Nigeria, in Ghana. The last time when the Financial Intelligence Unit, the FIU came here, all the things were uncovered. Okay? They were uncovered. I know ministers who turned into PM, okay, who go out to China, get Chinese people, they come and they pay $200,000 bribe. He take a special assistant, which is his cousin, send him to Accra to buy a house.
Mr. Brown,
you know? So they're just all this.
You've been very close to the president. Before President We became president, you had a lot of interaction with him.
Of course.
You've been sitting with him, you've been talking to him. At this stage of his administration where things look the way, you know, are you reaching out to him? Are you...
In what way can you reach out? I was told, and this time I will call name.
Told by who?
I was told by Lesha who running, the LBF managing director, that person we all wanted to see. Oh, Philip, person we all wants to see you. That was 5 months ago. No, 4 months ago. I was told by the Minister of Information, oh, Philip, the president said he wants to see you. Oh, every day, oh, Philip, the president wants to see you. Oh, Philip, I tell you the conclusion that, well, I'm not a bugu man. I'm not a monster. If the president wants to see me, you know where you can get my number from, my telephone number, and call me. Okay? And call me. And let me say this to you. Let me be very clear and very plain. This country is not going to make progress, okay, until President Weah does the right thing. And this country is going to keep going down the drain, until President Weah realizes that he's not president for a group of people that have surrounded him. He's president for our country. And every single individual in this country interest is paramount. Okay? And he must take the interest serious.
Okay. So before we go to the lines, this news that came up just this morning on the war crime stuff and other things. You stayed around here so much. We've talked about it now again and again and again. Now there's congressional representatives, a representative that is in the U.S. who finally written something about that. And the president is going to the U.S. At the UN General Assembly. On the heat of that, there's been changes here and there. Louis Brown is coming back. So a lot of things seem to be playing in the last few days. Let me just get a few comments from you. Don't go to the phone lines.
Okay, just give me 5 minutes. Let me just talk about this whole issue of this war crime. You know, the war crime is something that, I mean, we shouldn't waste our time about. It's going to happen whether we want it or not.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen whether we want it or not, whether we like it or not. It's inevitable. Right? Two major things are happening, and maybe we didn't take them into consideration. The one with the bill, the resolution, is the third. During early administration, the Assistant Secretary General for the United Nations visited Liberia. At the close of her administration, and when she visited Liberia, he said that they were going to start the Human Rights Office, the UN Human Rights Office in Liberia. All right? And in his press statement, he said that all those who were fleeing justice, okay, would now be brought to justice. The UN Human Rights Office is currently in Liberia. After that, the Deputy UN Secretary General came to Liberia under President Weah.
That was Weah engagement.
Yes.
That's where the situation with gender pillar happens.
And she talked about the establishment of the War Crime Court. Now, who gives the Secretariat the mandate? It's the Security Council. Who are the members of the Security Council? You have 5 permanent members, right? United States, Britain, France, Russia, and China. Those are the people that have given the mandate to the Secretary General to say, hey, Mr. President, you must establish a war crime tribunal in your country. The culture of impunity is over. Okay, those who committed genocide and heinous crimes, they must be brought to book.
Okay.
And then you leave from there and you say, no, I'm not going to establish a war crime court. I'm going to protect those who committed these crimes. But you leave from here and you go to China. A permanent member of the United Nations that have given you the mandate to establish a war crime court in your country, and you have said no to, and you go to China, you think China, what were you expecting China to do? You leave Liberia and you go to France, a permanent member of the Security Council that have given you the mandate, and you go there to beg for arms. What were you thinking? What do you think they are going to do with you?
So in the short is that there will be more pressure, but it will come in different ways, and the government of the day will submit to the pressure.
I was in charge still government.
Yeah.
And I remember when I won't even go that route. I was in Chancellor government, and I saw Chancellor being squeezed. The highest budget was about 50 million, the national budget. And they squeezed Chancellor until the national budget came to 10 million. Imagine a whole country national budget, $10 million. Okay? And that's just what they are slow. The George Weah as president, they have given him a lot of options.
Right here on this edition of The Conversation, 07770.
Gentlemen, you ready? Let's get to business. Sir, what does that have to do with this investigation? This is your final warning. Stay on the subject. Come on, stop singing. Why are you singing? Get to the business. Who are the people am I investigating first?
Compiers and combados, and the cornucopia of intellectualism. And on this is through intellectual political psychometry to discuss issues of pertinence and relevance. Chairman of the tripartite session, concomitant of the Liberal People's Democratic Party, Sifario intellectual, perspication girl.
So what is the grammatical implication of this politically?
Political Maradona.
Maradona? You mean Maradona stole the people money? The soccer player Maradona?
So at this time, comrades and friends, they will be responding and be discussing plethora of critical national issues.
If you are the gorilla, please go ahead, sir.
Thank you so very much.
You're welcome. So where do you stand on this missing money issue?
I stand on this terra firma that have magnetized revolutionary gladiators of revolutionary didactics.
Warriors, we are just investigating the money. Can we stick to the subject? God.
And let me begin by saying that it is written in Matthew chapter 9.
Oh, I love the Bible. That's a great place to start. Yeah, let's go to the Bible.
What? Beginning from verse 34 up to
34.
40.
To 40? There is no 40, sir. If there's one thing I don't appreciate, I don't appreciate being lied to. Matthew chapter 9, verses 34 does not have a 40 verse. So stop lying and stay true with me. I'm not here to play with you people. Continue.
Jesus said.
Jesus said? No, Jesus did not say.
And seeing the multitude, he was moved with compassion.
Jesus did it. Don't lie on Jesus. According to the scripture, verse 36, it said, but when Jesus saw the multitude, he did not say it. The places in the Bible when Jesus is actually speaking or when God is speaking is in red. Again, stop lying to me and talk to me about this money because you don't know anything about this Bible you're talking about. Let's keep going.
Because there was a shepherd.
There was a shepherd.
There was a sheep with all the shepherd.
There was a sheep with
If I do a structural positional analysis.
What analysis?
See the plight of the Liberian people. His Excellency George Weah was moved with compassion. We have come with credibility. We have come as a nationalist and a patriot in defense of His Excellency George Weah.
Sir, again, this is an investigation. We are not defending His Excellency. I am investigating right now. Why is that guy yelling? Dog? Is that a dog crying? I heard a dog
Gave him the opportunity and the flow.
Oh yeah, not distraction.
No, don't tell me to continue. Don't tell me to continue.
provide
There's
you.
a dog crying. Are you guys cooking dog? You're cooking the dog back there? Because I know you people, you can cook dog. Why you okay? Wait.
You start to stop, check yourself, check your security, see everything in place. So I called the police director. I want to say a very big thank you to the police director. He immediately ordered his zonal commander to my house. He came there last night, and the police in March, there was one container that came. There was
him, and he will be telling us more about that as well this morning on the TBS on 96.1 FM. Then we'll be able to ask him as well as to whether, because during the campaign period, he was one of the persons who was there bellowing the issue of the War Crimes Code and how presidential candidates signed on to the establishment of War Crimes Code, whether the CDC-led government is one of those governments in waiting at that time that really signed on to the War Crimes Code, and those are issues we'll look at this morning. But we'll first start up with the issue of the money wahala. Good morning to you, Mr. Brown. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, AB. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you on this morning. All right, let's move straight there. Liberians are following via this on Facebook, the word over, and of course, it's all clear that indeed you were the one who blew the first alarm on this issue of the money. But first of all, tell us, how did this entire story about money matter? Come on.
Well, I can say hi, Kimbo. What I can honestly tell you is that I've been investigating this for about 3 months. Okay. I have spoken to the who's who. I'm not going to call names. I have spoken to everyone of relevance that has to do with this money issue. Okay, so when there was a timeline that I have given, to the government to conclude this investigation, and the government have been having very cold feet. So the best thing was to bring it to the public, because this is not a situation that you want to sweep under the rug. This is a serious situation. This situation is even more serious than the Ebola epidemic. That's how serious it is, and I see people trying to mislead people, come up with conflicting information. Well, I can tell you certainly that in November, there was 2 20-foot containers, 20 by 20 and 40 foot, came into the country of money. The container, 2 containers were placed on one truck, and that truck was taken to the central bank. The second containers, because they're trying to say in March there was one container that came. Yeah. There wasn't one container, there were 2 containers that came in March. 2 20-foot containers equal 1 40-foot container of money. They were placed on separate trucks.
In March?
They were in March. I mean, the most recent was in March. Okay. So and when I say something, I say it for fact. All right, but let me just digress a bit and tell you what's been transpiring with me and my personal security. Okay. People, I don't run the newspaper. Okay, people keep saying managing editor. I'm not a managing editor. I'm the owner, the publisher of the paper. I don't run it. I haven't been to Hot Pepper within 8 months. Wow. Yeah, so they run the paper on their own. So they've been calling me, that strange people been calling them, threatening them that they will kill them, they will have me assassinated for exposing this money. It will not go unpunished. One long story. So what I told them that you guys will have to work now from 9 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock. You will have to do your work and then go home. I came home finally with all my kids waiting for me at my gate, got in my house, and everybody explaining that they have been receiving threatening messages that they will kidnap them, they will kill them, and the case I have for years. So when Mike Jabate sent a post like that, and he didn't send it to me, somebody copied it and sent it to me, and then you start to say, okay, what's going on? Then you start to stop, check yourself, check your security, see everything in place. So I called the police director. I want to say a very big thank you to the police director. He immediately ordered his zonal commander to my house. He came there last night, and the police director himself came.
and they deployed 20 armed police last night at my house. So last night I slept with about 20 armed police. We're waiting for the would-be assassins. But again, I want to say here for the record that I have a constituency. I'm from the old Armed Forces of Liberia. I'm having to be one of the most senior members of the old Armed Forces of Liberia. And as we speak, I'm calling now, I'm directing Colonel Wallo Nangwe to have all the battalion commanders at my office today at 5.
Battalion commanders for what?
All AFL, all the battalion commanders,
Why are you calling them together?
and all the company commanders at my office. They are my constituents, and I'm going to explain this threat to my life. I'm also asking the police director and the NSA boss to also send people there so they hear the our meeting and they hear what we say.
Pastor Winger, please be careful before I take your puppy one day. Madam VP Joy Howard Taylor, Your Honor, Chief Justice, Honorable Speaker Buffer Chambers, Pro Tempore Abu Chair, the clergies and pastors, ambassador, elders, members of the
We are seeing this playing game now in this. The minister came up and spoke. Less than 24 hours, the former president spoke with the front page African News.
How much money in circulation? The Senate approved the printing of new bills. All the legislature, let me not limit down. You start to stop, check yourself, check your security, see everything in place. So I called the police director. I want to say a very big thank you to the police director.
To come in country back in November. Now, he said when the current government took over, it was expected that in the turnover notes, the current government were being told about this money. So maybe the continuance you saw was something that this government didn't know about, and somebody else who must have known about it, they were the one that took it, and I don't think this government is in the know of what is there. That's why they are investigating.
Well, let me just say for the record. When the former bank governor, Mill Jones, was asked to print money, he said no. We had enough local currency on the market and there was no need to print new bills. When the new governor came, Milton Weeks, he went to the Senate and the Senate approved the printing of new bills. All the legislature, let me not limit down to any particular branch. The legislature approved the printing of new bills. And in the printing of new bills, they were supposed to print 5 billion Liberian dollars only. 5 billion Liberian dollars only. And that money, the legislature should have been informed into which denomination the money were printed. That is the first violation. Let's assume, for argument's sake, right, that no money missing. Why were you told or given approval to print 5 billion? How come you printed 19 billion? How?
Was it 19 billion?
I just wanted to make sure the clarification because they're trying to make it goes up. Right? We the last one with Ministry of Justice, they said 16 billion. Okay, I'm just being hypothetical.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Why would you print it when the Senate have authorized you to only print 5 billion? You did not get any authorization from the Senate to print over. Because I remember when Western guy Finlay was pro tempore, there was this big argument through and through between he and what the guy named Mill Jones All right, there were even this accusation that Mill Jones financed his downfall in Buchanan because he refused to give central bank the authority, the sole authority to print money onto themselves. That means when they needed to print, they printed with all the informed. Why were you told or given approval to print 5 billion? How come you printed 19 billion? How?
Was it 19 billion?
Every day the figure goes up. Well, the last one with Ministry of Justice, they said 16 billion. Okay, I'm just being hypothetical.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Why would you print it when the Senate have authorized you to only print 5 billion? You did not get any authorization from the Senate to print over. Because I remember when Western guy Finlay was pro tempore, there was this big argument through and through between he and what the guy named Mill Jones. All right, there were even this accusation that Mill Jones financed his downfall in Buchanan because he refused to give central bank the authority, the sole authority to print money onto themselves. That means when they needed to print, they printed with all the informing the legislature, with all legislative approval. They refused. So you had to go to the legislature and tell the legislature what you needed to know before you print money. All right? And the approval given to the central bank to print was $5 billion. Just by virtue of the fact that they printed, okay, 11 billion in excess, because we're talking about 16 billion right now. All right? But don't forget now, they said what was missing, what they're talking about was 16 billion.
Yeah.
They didn't say what is in circulation. So we're talking about two things that are running parallel.
So already in circulation.
Then what? Yes, that's what they need to come and clarify, because on the press release they said they're investigating the missing money, okay, during that time. So just by that, okay, there's so much sinister means behind it that you are giving authority to go pick 2 plums and you went and pick 10.
Okay.
So what did you do with the 8 plums that you pick? And how come you didn't or declare the denomination that you brought the money into the Senate or the legislature? And don't forget, people have been asking over and over how much money in circulation.
Okay, so you did mention the issue about the 240, you did 224 continuous, right?
Yeah,
amounting up to 40.
You
said it landed at the central bank. Your informer, did they ever inform you that the money was offloaded at the bank, or?
Well, what I want to tell you is that, you know, in the Ministry of Justice press release, they said that we should give them the opportunity to investigate. Okay? Yeah. We must not preempt. I just wanted to make sure of the clarification, because they're trying to make it seem that it was 120-foot container that came in March. It wasn't 120-foot container, it was 2. They were placed on separate trucks and they left the Freeport. All right? So where they went, where they didn't go, the government is investigating.
Authorization?
Yeah, you cannot bring money into the country with all the acquiescence of the Ministry of Finance and the central bank. All right? And then probably with the knowledge of the President of the Republic. Okay, so there's no way. And we talk about turning over notes. All right, that's the first thing that you will do. Okay, if I'm the central bank governor and I'm turning over to the new governor. Okay, that is the first thing I want to tell you. Is the quantity of money that we have in US dollars, our foreign or status, everything. So it's not something that you can say, oh, it was an oversight. No, it wasn't an oversight.
We are seeing this playing game now in this. The minister came up and spoke. Less than 24 hours, the former president spoke with the front page African newspaper, and of course debunked the minister's statement that indeed that was not mentioned in the turnover note. And in fact, she's frustrated at the former manner in which this government wants to really
body, her hard-earned reputation, and her legacy that she had in time past. And there is a blame game now that we're sensing. What do you think is going on?
Well, look, this is the beginning of the audit of the old regime. I've said over and repeatedly that there were money laundering. People were stealing the money out of this country. And nobody wanted to listen to Philibert. So I sat back. You know, now it has come to light, right? And I still sitting back watching, okay, and looking at them, you know, play the blame game. But in all fairness, people know what went on here, and they should come out clear and tell the Liberian people this to stop fooling around.
Let me take you back, Philip, a bit. I listened to you, Kinley, when you started your opening statement. You said that you started investigating this money, and you gave some timeline or time bond to the government to come up. Were there some prior negotiations?
There were not negotiations, there were discussions.
Between you and the government?
Me and, well, when you say the government, there was not a governmental meeting, all right? But there were individuals that had the greatest responsibility, okay, to discuss this money issue, to investigate this money issue. All right. The only person, and I will stay 8 years for the record, that I did not speak to was President George Weah.
You tried speaking with him?
I tried. I sent him several messages. All right. Even as far back as last week, Monday. Yes. All right. I went to a very influential person, and I said I want to see the president. It was last week, Monday, or 2 weeks, but it came up before the pronouncement that I made, that I needed to talk to the president. When the president told me, okay, I will call you back, I'm going to see him right now because of the gravity of this thing. And they called me back and said, no, you know, somebody died from the president. The president was like a daughter to the president, and he's grieving, so I couldn't sit and discuss this issue with him. So I made sure I talked to everybody across the board, right? And that how come I'm not deterred by anything anybody going to say to me, because I know the truth, I know the facts, right? And we're giving the government the opportunity to go ahead with the investigation. I intended not to talk, okay? I got a planned trip next week. I'm going to Argentina. I have just called to cancel my trip. I should be in Argentina for 3 weeks. I'm not going anywhere. I'm home, all right? I have a duty to protect my family. I have a duty to myself, so I'm home. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to leave my family vulnerable, all right? So I'm home, and we're going to follow this investigation through. And anyone who thinks that Philibert Brown is a sitting duck, that you're going to slaughter, you're wasting your time.
So one of the confusion that the public is having is that the government, through the Minister of Information, has said that this government has been investigating the situation over the past months, 4 months or plus, and the government even set up an investigative team prior to this one that we know about. So the confusion now is, why did the government not come out to inform its citizens when there were prior investigations?
Well, I know the government have been investigating, okay? And let me say this, and let me say a hat off to the government. Let it not be like we trying to damage the government and all that. The government have been investigating, but the scope of investigation, you're not investigating something that terrorists came to the country, you didn't know which country, which port of entry, which hotel, you know, so the investigation become complicated and widened. You have few institutions that you are investigating: the Freeport, the Central Bank, and the
RIA.
The RIA. Because we're not even discussing the RIA. I discussed the RIA too in when I was talking about this thing. I talked about the RIA. I said the plane that brought in the 2 plane loads of money and everything at the RIA. But we're not even discussing the RIA.
The RIA won't different from the 44th continent.
Yes, you can bring 44 continent through RIA. That plane that bring money through RIA. 44 continent that come to Freeport.
No, I'm saying that one is different. So the RIA thing, it came legally and then it went to the bank, you think?
Well, like I said, I don't know whether the money went to the bank or not. I'm not jumping the gun to say that the money vanished in thin air or not. I am saying I'm giving the government the opportunity to do the investigation, complete the investigation. I know what I know.
Okay, at the point in time you were contacting these officials, like you said, discussions were ongoing. Did they any time tell you that indeed they are taking siege of the matter and they will get back to you, that which you have given us hint that investigations are ongoing?
I said we discuss it. And when you hear somebody say to discuss for 2 hours, all right, that means you discuss at length. Because 2 hour discussions are not...
So they didn't tell you that they were already investigating before you even met them? Or you initiated, or you hinted them before they started the discussion?
No, they were investigating. They were investigating. The government was investigating this case before I went, and I met those who were investigating, and I spoke to them, okay, and I told them what I knew, because I personally have been investigating. Okay, if you notice, I've been very quiet, very silent for the last 5 months. I haven't spoken to no radio person. I haven't said anything. Okay, and like I said, I don't use my privileged position, and don't ask me why my privileged position. I don't use my privileged position to do newspaper work, because between me and you, if I write 10% of what I know about what's going on in this country will go into riot. So I don't use my privileged position to discuss newspaper work. I left the newspaper altogether.
So there are actually damaging things that are going on in this country.
Oh yeah, you don't even. This is the tip
of the iceberg.
Of the iceberg. So this is the tip. We're not even talking about the US dollar component. This is just the tip.
There's a US dollar component to it.
I said we're not even discussing that. This is the tip.
You think the exchange rate fluctuated and of course went very much skyrocketing during those periods? This money hard hand to play in it.
Good. Think back. When did the rate start to climb? Think back. Before the inauguration and right after the inauguration. All right? Now, if I got a bunch of Liberian dollars, right? The safest thing I want, that US dollar, you can't keep a bunch of Liberian dollar laying down anyway. All right? You need to transform it into US dollars. And at any rate, it doesn't matter to you. That's not your money. Okay, so you transform it at any rate. So the rate came up from 40 to 50 to 60 to 70, and it just kept climbing. And if they had not put a halt to it, if the new bank governor had not been smart enough to have put a halt to it, the rate would have been 300 by now. I can tell you that. Because they were going to still pour that money onto the street. And something I also learned. I also learned that the central bank were contemplating or decommissioning the $100 bill and the $500 bill, because those were the denomination that the money came in. Okay, and I think they are a bit slow, because they should have decommissioned it ever since. All right, and we use the $50 bill and the 20, and then that quantity of money we have left with the individuals who have it. Okay, or if they have it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was exactly what happened. Now, with all of what we're hearing now, because Liberians want to know, I stay asking this question about which government could take responsibility of this. You said the rest started claiming before the inauguration, after the inauguration. Now here we are. Who are the guys spewing the money out there? Who were the guys in charge of the money? Or say the former officials who were in charge of money matter, they were the one that brought it out, or we can partly link the current administration to it?
Well, what I can tell you for free is that you went to the legislature, and the legislature gave you an authority to print $5 billion. Anything in excess of $5 billion is criminal. So you make your own decision. Anything in excess of $5 billion. And you know, we sit now talking, and we're talking on the radio station. If that Philip Brown did not grab me, lock me up in jail, long time, you know. There should be some arrests, you know.
You're surprised that no arrests?
No arrests. There should be some arrests. People, look, we cannot run this country like this.
Are there persons
we got so much wealth in this country. Got so much wealth in this country. People cannot even pay their kids. How you think the poor people feeling that they can't even pay their children way to school? They can't even put their children back into school, and you're talking about 16 billion Liberian dollars with up 100 million plus United States dollars vanish in thin air, and we sit now here and we're talking and we think it's normal. This is a serious, serious, serious crisis. A crisis bigger than that of the Ebola epidemic.
And you know, Philip, like you said, I'm not going to put you to go further into what you don't want to discuss, because I listen to you, Kinley, when you talk about this is just the tip of some of the things that are unfolding. If you were to be writing most of the things that are happening in our country, unknown to some of us, unknown to our ordinary people, Liberia could go back in those dark days. It's very good on your...
All right. And President, we are me and him. We're from the same town. I'm a crewman. He a crewman. We're from the same town, the same village. We got plenty in common. We almost the same age group. Okay, we come from the same constituency, the sports constituency. So I'm going to be exceptionally hard on President Weah. He has to do something for the Liberian people. So they must forget about talking about assassinating Philip Brown. Because I am not going to be like Harry Greaves, where you go sit down there, you go on the beach, you know who call you on the beach, they kill you. No. They're not Philip Brown.
All right, Philip,
all right.
Let's go on to this. And will you be surprised if the government were to come up in the final analysis with the level of team set up and they said that no money has gone missing? Because we're getting reports that the finance minister, Toye, had called on a local show and said that people should forget about what the information minister said on the VOA and other interviews, and then they don't think that, how is this? Will you be surprised at what the...
all the way to 2016, because 2016 was when they printed the first and sell the money. So they need to actually know when they printed the money, how much money they have been printed. I hear that the Senate is supposed to reconvene. All right, because the Senate too, they baffled because they gave the authority to the central bank to only print $5 billion. Now we hear talking about 16 billion missing. It didn't come from my mouth. It came from the horses' own mouth that the government of Liberia says the money missing. They're not Philip Brown.
Philip, you know, there are lots of public outcries out there.
Mm-hmm.
People want to actually see justice for this money. People want to know who are those individuals that are behind this money. You continue to say you know what you know. And the media is that institution, like you said, that should be able to speak out the ills. Is it possible you could help with this investigation?
Well, I cannot help anybody. I cannot help anybody.
Well, you could be helping the very Liberians.
Okay, I have spoken to who's who. All right? And like I said, I have spoken to them. There's nothing else for us to discuss.
You've given them a hint of those who you think are behind.
I cannot give you the hint because when you speak to people as a pressman, when you speak to people in confidence, your first obligation is to maintain and respect, yes, your sources. So, like I said, I cannot say who I've spoken to, but like I said, I spoke to people and I know what we have talked.
I want us to look at the composition of this newly instituted team clothed with the authority to investigate. We're talking about the Liberal Council of Churches, the National Muslim Council, the Federation of Liberian Youth, the National Bar Association. Considering all of the attacks, you know, these guys are all linked to some of these guys who people believe.
How many times have we not had this kind of committee?
So let's look at the committee now. You think the committee? I'm not even going
to go into that because we had several of those kind of committee forms, and at the end of the day, nothing came out of it.
And there's a great situation for that kind of committee.
Well, I think we just had the committee that was set up about this probe with the NOCA probe. What happened to it? And it was the same council of churches. Or were part of it.
Let's leave it.
So nothing came out of it. So I mean, you're saving me.
Just joking.
Save me that I mean, I like what Solomon George said, representing Solomon George.
Yeah.
That you people are joking. You know, you people are joking. It's in the people today that they are joking. I like what Yaka Koduba said. Okay, and you know, look, I feel sorry. I feel sad. Take it from me. Sitting down here, I just won't scream. We're catching so much hell in this country. Okay, they're not living like I said. Look at our young people. That what for me, at 54, I'm on my last lap. My pa died when you were 47, so when you talk about you assassinate me, and I leave my pa. So you kill me that what I'll come and worry about. All right? I'm not worried about that. So the people who do your foolishness, you just be mindful and I'll push over. All right? But what I want to say in this country here is that we have had all those things. Now, what you need to do, like what the government has done was to invite the Americans. All right? And you get the FBI, like they said they want. Okay, they have spoken to the Americans.
It's just a request, though.
It's a request. So I say maybe the request will be granted. Okay, once that request is granted, then you have international auditors. Okay, come and audit the bank. All right, but you cannot run. Look, when you take over office from another person, you must know what's in that office.
Definitely.
You have to audit that office, so you know where you're standing and you know where you're moving forward. We have said it repeatedly. The international community have called on this government to have the former government audited. What's wrong with auditing the former government? Go see what happened in Sierra Leone. Okay, people property being seized, people being under arrest in Sierra Leone. It's a hell of a thing going on next door in Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is being threatened. When you finish with